Hello everyone and welcome again to my channel. We are again looking at how to nurture our dreams and find our niche. And today I have the lovely Sophia with us, and she is a life balance, happiness, optimization coach, and we can't wait to start talking with us. So hi Krista, welcome.
Hi, Sophia. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you. So the first question is, can you tell us, please, a little about yourself?
Oh my gosh, that's a huge question. I started out as a fitness and nutrition coach, personal trainer, and spent about 20 years in the industry teaching gymnastics and doing personal training, and then training personal trainers and training nutritionists. And it never really felt like the perfect place for me to be. Like, I was super successful, but I was never fully nourished by what I was doing. So I went to college to study military science and psychology. It actually started studying forensics and then ended up in military science and psychology. And that was when I found my real calling, my real direction. And that's when coaching popped into play. So what life balance coaching is basically a combination of all the things that I've ever done in my life, all squished together in one. So I get to play with fitness and nutrition still, because obviously I spent 20 years doing that. And now I get to work with making other people extraordinarily happy and capable of chasing down everything that they truly want in life.
Wow, fantastic. So that's just a lot, and you're right when you say, that is just a wealth of information and knowledge that you have to offer. So what are you passionate about?
I am passionate about helping other people, and I am extremely passionate about stopping human trafficking.
Okay.
So I have combined my life's goal and my career with a mission to open 3 retreat centers to help victims of human trafficking. So everything that I do now goes towards the nonprofit side of my organization, where eventually we will be working directly one-on-one with clients who have suffered those horrors.
Fantastic. That's just fantastic. So what advice would you give to someone who is seeking to find and create their niche?
The niche question is always a funny one, because I feel like I work backwards from the niche. I feel like you have to know what you're doing, what you want to do, and then you have to know what your package is. You have to know what services you're providing, and your niche comes after knowing what you're going to do. Like, your perfect client is dictated by the definition of the services you provide. So your people, for me, my people come to me. So I've been through a couple of coaches who have this process where you define your person first, and then you define your products and services. I had to do that backwards. So I think it's really about recognizing who you surround yourself with, what people tend to be drawn to you, and what people are you passionate about working with? Who excites you? Because if you don't like working with your clientele, you're not going to be super successful at it. So your niche is those people that just excite you.
Right. That is quite a different way of looking at it. And that's why I found these interviews that I'm doing, trying to really create a bank of resource for anyone to dig into who, they may have this question and this problem of trying to define and trying to create. And the creative process is all individual. So it's really good to hear your side of it, working backwards, while everyone's advice is going to be different. And
right.
Yeah. So the next question is, what are your top tips for nurturing one's passion? I think this is one that everyone will be really engaged to hear. How do we go about nurturing our passions?
This is probably the most important question you can ever ask yourself as an independent business person. I mean, this is the difference between success and failure. If you have a passion, you have to feed it every day. Feed it with knowledge, feed it with different examples of people that are doing what you're doing and doing it well. Like, chase down everything that you can find. Knowledge is power. It really is. And the biggest, probably best thing I could say is show up every single day. Show up, put your time in, invest in yourself, invest in your passion, and give it everything you've got, no matter how you're feeling in that moment, because it's consistency that pays off.
And thank you for that, because I've been doing these interviews, and that's one of the things that's coming out: investing, to invest in ourselves and show up, do the work, and execute the action bit of it. Because a lot of times we have a plan and we have done the planning, we have done the thinking, and then we second guess ourselves. So instead of execution, we then don't. So yes, definitely that is good. So the next one is, describe yourself in one word.
Catalyst. That would be my word. Instigator of change.
Right. Okay. That's a powerful word, catalyst. Yeah. That is a powerful word. So tell us about your last project. What worked and what did not?
Oh, COVID-19.
Oh gosh.
The worst possible thing to happen for a business, but for me it turned out, oh, this is going to sound so wrong, a mixed blessing almost. It forced me to completely change directions. I tend to be a work one-on-one, in-person type of person. So my business never went online. I didn't really focus on social media and networking and all of these digital platforms for putting your courses online, and all of this potential that was sitting there waiting for me, I didn't even realize was there. And when this happened, I spent about 2 weeks just figuring that I was just going to sit at home and do, what everyone said, oh, well, you can't go to work, so what are you going to do? And then I realized I can still work. Mm-hmm. So I ultimately ended up creating my entire web presence. Like, I just have a brand new Facebook for the business and a brand new website. And we're now putting our programs that we've been running onto the teaching platforms so that people can access them even when they can't access me. And I can touch people all over the world instead of just in my local community. So it's been huge, and I'm not a techie person. So what went wrong is I tried to do it all by myself and just struggled ahead, just one challenge after another. And I realized just recently how amazing social network groups are, and you can ask for help and everyone is there for you, and the information is right there for you. So don't do it the hard way.
That is a fantastic story, in the sense of you had the opportunity to create another stream of capital, another money-making stream through your online presence. And if you weren't forced with having to do it, COVID gave you no excuses. You had to do it. So this is really a success story, where otherwise maybe you wouldn't have done this. So good on you. Well done for that. The next question is, what is the best advice that you have recently received?
Oh my gosh, I have to actually get this quote right. I am a huge fan of nonviolent communication.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote it down for you. It is basically something along the lines of we are meant to live, to give and receive compassionately.
Right.
I did get it right.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason that that is such an amazing quote is we often, especially women, like to think of ourselves as givers and caretakers, and we will self-sacrifice all day long to take care of other people, even if that isn't what ultimately serves the world in the end. But for us to be able to learn to receive from others compassionately is a tremendous undertaking, and being able to receive compassionately can set you free from some of those burdens of self-sacrifice.
Right. A good idea, really, really. And as you say, as women, you know, who traditionally and culturally, we are the givers. You know, we give, we have the children, we nurture, and receiving. And it's also a challenge sometimes to actually ask for help and receive that help. So yes, I get that one. And the last question, I can't believe that it's gone so quickly. And the last question is, what book are you currently reading?
Being a major in psychology, I tend to be a little more sciencey, so my book choices in this moment are a little bit geeky. But I have 100 books on my mandatory have to read list for this year. So reading is a big deal for me. So I actually have 3 right here with me that are amazing that I would totally recommend to people if they're interested in the topic of oppression. And I don't mean just racial oppression and, you know, just the black and the white situation that's really prominent in the US conversation right now. It's all forms of oppression: body oppression, gender oppression, ableness, able-bodied oppression, attractiveness oppression. Everybody in some point in their life is experiencing a form of oppression, and we all play the role of the oppressor at times as well. So I think as a society, it's really important for us to be aware of these power differentiations in our relationships. So Christine Caldwell is my mentor, and she's an amazing researcher in the forefront of the study of trauma and oppression in our bodies and how that affects our lives. So right now I'm reading Body Fullness, which is a Christine Caldwell book. And it's fabulous, and really brings to light a lot of things we don't like to talk about and things we don't like to recognize in ourselves and in our societies and our cultures.
Right. Well, thanks a lot, Krista, for coming and sharing your expertise with us. We really enjoyed having you here, focusing on how do we nurture our dreams and create our niche. So I'll be in touch, and it was great, as I said, talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, then bye.